You're watching Swipe. Coming up on this week's show.
Testing the air, the couriers collecting pollution data. The digital stimulant, I test a new kind of wearable set to increase my focus. And role-playing games plus fun with lasers in our games review.
Welcome to Swipe. It'll probably come as no surprise to you that a city like London has a problem with air pollution. But unless we know the scale of the issue, we can't solve it. And that's where technology comes into things. Sometimes a good tech idea needs a bit of people power. Or in this case, a bit of pedal power. Here's Stu.
As Mario the courier cycles around London, he isn't just making his deliveries, he's also working as a human air pollution monitor. I've joined him to see how a cycle courier experiences air pollution and how he's helping to fight it. Does it make you worried?
We've been worried for a long time. Okay, you go home, you're not feeling well, you're a bit dizzy, a bit lightheaded. So if you could collect enough data to show definitive proof to the people in charge that say, this is the pollution we encounter and here's the proof, do something about it.
Mario and his colleagues each cover about 70 miles a day. 50 of them are carrying a tag like this, which is measuring carbon monoxide in the air. The devices use wasted wireless signals for power, meaning they don't need to be charged.
It's small and light and sitting in my backpack. I could just use it. It's just small and light and convenient, I suppose, yeah.
Do you just not even think about it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
For days on end, I don't know I have it.
The extensive data collected by the couriers is fed back into this app, Clean Space. This allows users to see the quality of the air that they've been breathing that day. It's a personal touch which could make people pay attention to the wider problem. And the tracker gives all that data a really specific location. So instead of monitoring the air from a building or lamppost, you know more about what's happening to a person at ground level.
It's the first time that we're putting together both position and air pollution, and I think that's going to give a very interesting result. Plus these sensors are pretty small, so they're going to be collecting the data at person height as opposed to, you know, a sensor on a building or something that's a bit further away from all those nasty exhaust fumes.
All this will give us an unprecedented level of data on air pollution in London, but will that solve the problem?
It's great that business and technology are looking to try and highlight the issue of air pollution because it's a big problem in London. And definitely the more information that we have about the levels of air pollution in London, the better. It will help to tackle hotspots that we might not be aware of. But certainly we do know enough that legal limits are being broken throughout London.
This trial is happening just in London for now, but the tech companies behind it say they want the idea to be used around the world. Stuart Duggan, Sky News.
Stay with us. Still to come, I'll be finding out why adding a pulse to my own wrist might be good for me. That's after a roundup of some of this week's tech news.
Amazon's been given permission to trial drone deliveries in the UK. The online retailer's grand plan is to have a fleet of drones that can deliver small packages to shoppers within 30 minutes of an order being placed. It wants to start the service by 2017. Twitter's struck a deal with Sky Sports to show Premier League highlights and goals. Users of the social networking site in the UK and Ireland will be able to see video clips from all games broadcast by Sky Sports during the 2016-17 season via the @SkyFootball account. The first plane to fly around the world without any fuel, powered purely by the sun, finished its journey this week. Solar Impulse 2 touched down in Abu Dhabi on Tuesday. It started its trip in March last year, running on energy collected by more than 17,000 solar cells in its wings. Remember when Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg did this? It wasn't just him, loads of celebrities and, well, everyone else joined in with the Ice Bucket Challenge 2 years ago to raise money for charity. And it turns out the craze has helped researchers discover a new gene associated with motor neurone disease. It gives scientists another potential target for therapy development. Stick around for our games review, including this, Laser Disco Defenders. But first...
Now, we're all used to wearable technology that tracks things like steps or sleep. But this week, I had to go on a new type of wearable electronic that can change your mood on demand.
This is Doppel, and Doppel is a piece of wearable technology that can make you feel more alert and focused or calm and relaxed.
More alert and focused. How is it going to do that?
It plays a tactile, rhythmic heartbeat that you feel, and subconsciously in your mind you go, oh, my heartbeat's gone up. I must be stimulated. There must be things going on I need to pay attention to.
Are these early prototypes? Sweatbands?
Yeah, they are. They were just sweatbands that we used prototyping boards and coded up very, very early basic versions just to do our first tests. The aim was to change how people feel. The method came from understanding how people understand their own heartbeat and breathing.
Okay, can we put it on me? This is really fast. What if someone's got a heart problem?
It shouldn't affect anyone's heartbeat because it's like music. So if people have trouble listening to a fast song, then they shouldn't use this.
You've got a little test for me to sit. I'm going to
Absolutely.
do it without the vibration and then with it.
Absolutely.
And we'll compare the results.
Yes.
Right.
So average response time, 411 milliseconds. But that doesn't sound very good.
Well, no, it's not an amazing result. You're probably quite tired by this time in the afternoon. If we do it again, this time with Doppel, you should really do it a little bit worse the second time around because you become fatigued by doing the test, but we can see whether Doppel actually helps to improve those results all the same.
Okay, well, crank it up and make me focus more.
That should
That
get
feels
you going.
pretty powerful. So right now, is that tricking my brain?
The idea is that you're thinking, oh, my heartbeat's high, something's going on around me, I should be stimulated and aware.
418 milliseconds. Jack, I've got worse.
Maybe we've set the band to be a bit too intense for you.
Okay, so it hasn't changed my focus. Shame. But how about calming me down?
Set another rhythm for you, and this is at a lower rate and a lower intensity.
So what would somebody use this rate for?
We've had a lot of people try it in situations where they're feeling very stressed or under pressure. So,
Or nervous?
yeah, or nervous. So public speaking would be a good example.
We've said it before, we'll say it again. The summer tends to be a quiet time of year for video games releases. But there are a few titles we think you might like. Here's Alysia.
This game is a little bit bonkers, but before your eyebrows make a rapid ascent into your hairlines, hear me out about laser disco defenders. It's a PlayStation Vita game that tasks you with defeating the evil Lord Monotone. Yep, I know. To stop him from using the coveted Mirror Moon, bear with me, to make the galaxy dance to his music. Okay, so it's super weird, but the really, really cool thing about this game is that it's just kind of one of those super colourful, super crazy games that you can completely get lost in on your PlayStation Vita. Each level is randomly generated, meaning that Laser Disco Defenders is really unpredictable to play. But just how do you play it? Well, it's a classic shoot 'em up, so you're dodging different bullets and traps while being serenaded by a funky 1970s soundtrack. It's utterly mental, and if that's your thing, you can get it right now on the PlayStation Store. So the hard of hearing might think that this is a game about the existential crisis of a Satsuma, but actually this is a game called I Am Setsuna. It's a Japanese RPG that harks back to the sorts of games that you might have been playing 20 years ago. It's designed to move you emotionally, the monsters look whimsical, the piano soundtrack is emotional, and the story really forces the player to explore the boundaries of what is ethical. You play a mercenary who's been hired by a mysterious party to kill an 18-year-old girl called Setsuna. Thing is, she's already been signed up to sacrifice herself in a local ritual to appease the monsters that are attacking her village. So you end up escorting her on her self-sacrificial quest, basically killing two birds with one stone, or I guess in this case, one bird with one stone, or, well, you get my meaning. Either way, I Am Setsuna is launching on PlayStation 4, PS Vita, and PC. Riptide GP Renegade is the latest game from Vector Units and the latest in its Riptide Racing series. This time though, it's all about fun flips, tricks, silly reboots, kind of going through a different course and being as kind of crazy as you can get on the back of what's essentially a gigantic jet ski. It's set in a futuristic world where hydro jet riding mavericks complete in illegal races through sprawling metropolises. I played it back at GDC, but I played it on an iPhone 6, so it was some of the best water physics I have ever seen on mobile. And water physics here are not just about looking good, you can actually use them as a kind of strategy. So if you go into the slipstream of a fellow racer, you can get this kind of sneaky speed boost that makes the difference between winning a race or losing it.
Well, that's it for this week. Take a good look at Sky News on mobile, tablet, catch up, Sky Q and Snapchat for all the latest tech stories throughout the week. And I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.